Why I think I fight. Do I enjoy it? No. Do I enjoy training? No. Do I enjoy cutting weight? No. Am I nervous? Yes. Do I think to myself, what am I doing? Yes. Completely. Unfortunately, it's one of those things you're either born with or you're not. And the only way I can explain it, to try and make it make any sense, is that if I'm not doing something which is either extremely difficult or extremely stressful, I'm in a perpetual state of crippling boredom. I can't explain it. I see other people live their lives and they're like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend because I want to watch this movie. I think, who cares about a movie? You're looking forward to the weekend for a movie? Looking forward to the weekend to get drunk? Like, these things to me are so mundane. They mean nothing. And if I don't fight, if I'm not in a situation where I'm stressed or worried or concerned, I'm just perpetually bored. And boredom's crippling. If you're an intelligent person and you've got a good brain on your shoulders, you can't just sit there bored, you know? So most smart people take the academic route to avoid boredom. They learn, but that's never really interested me either. Although I've always been an intelligent guy and I've always done well academically, it never really interested me.
He discusses how he was bored and he didn't understand why people would go on the weekends and they would get drunk or they party or watch Netflix or whatever. They would use it literally as an escape from their lives because they weren't happy with what they've built. So the weekend was like, I got some free time. I can go do what I've always wanted to do now, just to return back to the same boss on Monday. So guys, make sure you take advantage of your weekends, not partying and watching Netflix, but building a business, creating a side hustle, creating another stream of income, and eventually whatever you build on your weekend will become big enough where you don't need your job anymore. So make sure you take full advantage of the opportunity you have in your free time instead of wasting it, all right? You already waste your time at your job. You can save your job for wasting your time, okay? Just do not waste the free time. That is time that you get to choose where it goes. So make sure that you dedicate it to something that's going to have a positive impact on your life.
Some people cannot just function 9 to 5 office job, get drunk at the weekends. That is not for some individuals, and it's not for me. So I have to find something which keeps me physically tired enough to stop me going AWOL, and mentally tired enough, and I've chosen fighting, because without this, when I'm not in training, I wake up every day and think, okay, what am I going to do today? It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm bored, everyone's at work, I'm bored, and I'll end up doing something crazy. I'll either end up drunk, or on the Eurostar, or, you know, it's just a random lifestyle, because I'm constantly looking for never-ending entertainment, and it doesn't exist. I think the only thing that could stop me fighting is if I had enough money to constantly entertain myself. Unless I'm a billionaire, I need something that keeps me focused and keeps me occupied in life. With fighting, I have to train twice a day, and I have to train hard, and the stress it brings in every aspect can replace fun, and my mind is occupied. It occupies me. It's the only way I can try and explain it. It occupies me, and I could never stop doing this even if I lost 100 fights, because I'm not built to live a normal existence. I can't do it. I couldn't just have a kid with some girl and sit at home and work a little bit and relax. I've never relaxed in my entire life. I don't know what relaxing is. It's just not me.
He talks about he's obsessed with fighting, like literally obsessed. He would wake up on a Tuesday, he said, and just start thinking about it. You guys need to find something that you're absolutely obsessed about. And I know in nowadays terms, being obsessed is bad. It's like, go to the doctor, get some help. You're obsessed. You shouldn't be obsessed. But in reality, you should absolutely be obsessed with whatever it is if you want to succeed at it. If you look at all the wealthy people and the multi-billionaires, they're obsessed at whatever it is. They wake up, they think about it, and it keeps them constantly driven, motivated, learning, getting better at their craft. And sometimes that's exactly what it's going to take to truly succeed at something. So make sure you find something that you're passionate about, that you want to be great at, and then just become obsessed with it, immersed in it. Use all your free time to get better, to learn about it. Even when you don't have free time, be thinking about it, how you can get better, how you can grow. And guys, sometimes it's going to take that to truly succeed at something.
I was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. For 12 years, I trained 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was motivated to train probably about 25% of the time. The rest of the time I went because I am disciplined. You don't feel like going through that shit on a Wednesday morning when you wake up, but you have to do it because you're disciplined. You're either a disciplined individual or you are not a disciplined individual. There's a difference between want and want. And I say this all the time. People say to me, I want to be rich. And I say, okay, well, I want to be able to ice skate. but I don't want to be able to ice skate enough to go learn how to ice skate because I can't be bothered. I mean, surely if I could click my fingers and be a figure skater, I'd click my fingers. Who wouldn't? But I don't want to actually go train because I don't want it enough. And this is the exact point with money. Everyone wants money put on their lap. If you truly wanted money, you wouldn't be able to sleep until you fucking had it. And this is the point. Because when I had nothing, I couldn't be distracted. You couldn't distract me from what I wanted. That's who I am. If I want something, I'm going to get it. I do not need to be motivated. I'm a disciplined person. If I allocate X amount of time to work, I'm going to do it. But that is the bottom line answer. It's discipline. You're going to have to work when you don't feel like working. That's how it's going to have to be, or you're never going to be eating.
A lot of people give up at whatever they're doing because they're not motivated to do it anymore and it's getting hard, but you guys have to have some discipline if you want to succeed at it. Just because you don't see the results that you're hoping to obtain over time does not mean you should give up in this temporary moment of failure. You have to keep going. You have to motivate yourself. Sometimes, guys, the best way to motivate yourself is to remind yourself why you're doing it to begin with. Constantly have the end in mind. Make the end in mind so freaking important that nothing is going to stop you from achieving it. And that goes back to obsession. When you're obsessed with it and you're obsessed with that end of mind goal, you just keep going, even on the down days, because it will get bad. You don't care if it gets bad. You're more concerned about the end goal, and you're gonna get back up and keep fighting, and you will not stop until you see that goal obtained. So make sure you guys are disciplined. Just because you're not motivated does not mean you should not do it, okay? Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is an action. Make sure you stay disciplined and you make sure you do what needs to get done in spite of how you feel, which would be whether you're motivated or not.
One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. You might get a brain hemorrhage, or you might get hit by a bus. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You decide if you're a disciplined person. You decide if you're a happy person. You decide if you're a depressed person. These are things that in real time you can affect in your brain. This is all you can control on Earth. If you can't control that, then you're just a feather in the wind. And life's going to blow you around, and you might land somewhere good. You might land in dog shit. Nobody knows. Your state of mind is what you should be able to control. If you can't wake up and say, today I'm making some money, and actually try your very, very best, and actually stay dedicated to that task. If you can't do that, you're fucked.
I love how he breaks down that your mind is the only thing that you have absolute control over. And it's true. You cannot control a family member passing away, or a storm wiping out your business, or your boss getting upset and downsizing for whatever reason and firing you. So you cannot control these things, but you can control how you perceive them and how you react on them. Guys, 99% of the problems are not what actually happens, it's how you react. And that's your state of mind, constantly being a positive state of mind. Just because something bad happens does not mean you need to be depressed and start going into bad eating disorder and just trash your life. Not at all, but a lot of people do that. Instead, you can use it to fuel something good, fuel something that's going to be positive. Even in spite of it being bad, you can use that energy to hit the gym, to put in extra hours on your side hustle. So make sure you have complete control of your state of mind. If you cannot control this, you're already screwed, because bad things are going to happen, period. Nothing's going to stop that. It's life. Stuff happens. And if you cannot control your state of mind in this whole process, your mind's going to be your biggest enemy. It's going to get depressed. It's going to get sad. It's going to think poorly of you. It's going to have a bad reflection, and it's going to put you in a downward spiral. So make sure you control your mind.
You have to play the cards you're dealt. To be born a certain height and then to sit there and go, what do I do? I'll tell you what you do. You become the best version of yourself, just like everyone else does. Nothing about the height is in and of itself enough value for me to be a valuable man. As a man, you build your value. You are born with the cards you're dealt. Sure, it'd be ideal. Look, I'd love to be 7 foot tall. I'm not. So it's the same argument. If you're 5'2", you need to become rich, strong, and funny, and charismatic, and interesting, and witty. If you're 6'4", you need to become rich, strong, well-connected. It's the same game. So to sit there and complain about it is asinine. All of you have a handful of aces. I don't think you understand that. You could have been in a car crash at 4 years old and lost your legs. Do you have any understanding of how lucky you have been? This is pure luck. There's only luck has kept you fully able-bodied sitting there capable of learning and listening and becoming something. You don't really need to be that tall if you're important and rich, and when you walk in the room, you think when fucking Mayweather walks in the room, people give a shit? Fix that frame in your mind. You are viewing yourself as a short man.
So often we use our broke parents, our terrible upbringing as an excuse to not be great, or in this example, being short. I don't know what cards you were dealt in life, but I do know it's your choice where you're going and what you're going to become from it. So make sure you use this as something that builds you up, that makes you better, that increases the time you spend on your side hustles and increases the amount of money you make, not vice versa, which so many people do. And honestly, guys, it ticks me off because a lot of people, they will use these bad things that happen in life as a reason to have a miserable life, and then they just create this terrible life. It's like a domino effect. They say, this is how I was born, this is how I was raised, therefore I must become this, equal to this event. But in reality, it's not the case. You can use that terrible thing that happened in life, your upbringing, and use that as an advantage, something good. Now, if it's something that's really bad, it can be motivation to do something good. If it's the way God designed you or created you, what are you going to do? Be miserable about it? You can use it to your advantage. If you are short, like he said, get rich. Get super wealthy, get successful, be funny, be interesting. You can not control where you came from, but you can always control where you're going.